Hi, I'm Greg Gutfeld, now with a new minty fresh flavor. Here's what's coming up. Does America still unite in times of tragedy, or are we letting our differences take over? I say yes, and if you disagree with me, you're a dumb jerk. Saying the words radical Islam. President Obama says it doesn't matter. A former radical Islamist says it does, and he's going to tell you why tonight. Plus, not happy with your choices for president? A new poll says you're not alone, and I mean a survey, not a Polish person. I've missed you, America. It's been a hell of a week. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He slayed bin Laden, and then he slayed my heart. Former U.S. Navy SEAL and Fox News contributor Rob O'Neill. She saves on electricity because she's always so lit. It's our lovable lush, Joanna Osaczynski. He's sharp and funny like scissors that slip on a banana peel. Rob Long, TV writer, producer, and founder of Ricochet.com. If hating everything were an Olympic event, she'd win the gold, silver, and bronze, then throw them in the garbage. National Review reporter Katherine Timpf. He stings harder than a swarm of yellow jackets that put their cigarettes out on your tongue. Comedian Nick DiPaolo, host of the Nick DiPaolo podcast. But first, all right, when something really, really evil happens like Orlando, the press often seeks silver linings via heartwarming stories. For example, the people who gave blood, the airlines that offered free flights, the restaurants that handed out free meals. This next story is not one of those stories. A peace vigil was held for the Orlando dead at the University of Missouri. Initially for the victims, one speaker made it about herself, denouncing the white people who came there to grieve.
I was really nervous to get up here because there's a lot of white people in the crowd. And that wasn't a joke. I thought I'd take the moment to just list out some facts that many of you probably don't know because you're white.
Isn't she special? Imagine her wedding toast. Oh, I'd like to congratulate the bride and groom if they weren't descendants of white racists who enslaved my people. A typical social justice warrior, she probably won't take aspirin because it's white. Here is more of her dripping, condescending vocal fry.
I'm tired of the black and white dichotomy that happens every time we talk about race or anything that goes on in our country. As much as it is awesome that there's so many people here today, but it's like, who are you really here for?
It's like a cross between microphone feedback and vomit. Oh. Finally, a gay married couple in the audience finally had enough and heckled her.
Whoa. Hey, no.
Hey, no. Good for them. Here they are afterward.
They're segregating us. Right there on stage, they're segregating us.
I'm tired of our community, that everything has to be divided into color, into race.
What did you come here expecting today?
I expected a community to come together, everyone.
And what did you get instead?
I got someone speaking on stage that tried to make it all about her culture.
So, you know this country's got a problem when we can't even hold a vigil together. No longer unifying in the face of an evil, we must endure losers who complain that terror victims get more attention than they do. Another example on Twitter, a Chicago-based leftist, they have them there, with over 11,000 followers, her name's Brienne of Snarth, said she didn't care that the child at Disney World was killed by an alligator because the dad's white. Surprised? Not me. Identity politics is all about victim vultures fighting over who gets the most vigils, the most candles, the most attention. Instead of coming together, the impulse is to stake out blame, victimhood, and assert moral superiority. Who's to blame for Orlando? Huffington Post blamed Christians. The New York Times blamed Republicans. The Daily News blamed the NRA. A bishop blamed Catholics. And everybody's blaming guns, including the killer's awful, complicit wife. Where could she have learned that from? Yet no one is blaming radical Islam, even when the culprit cheered and celebrated it. I always thought labels mattered. If you called yourself something, we had to embrace it. Isn't that part of identity politics? But not so with Islamism. Suddenly, that's the only label we must ignore. But what do I know? I'm just a proud black lesbian trapped in a white man's body.
Period.
I'm going to go to Rob Long first. Thank you for your service.
You're very welcome. I enjoyed serving the country on television.
Yes.
Writing TV jokes.
Go.
I got to say, they think that the world should be like their news feed. On Facebook or Twitter, right? It's curated, just the stuff I want to see all the time. And if you bring your news feed into my news feed, I get really mad.
Yeah.
And so, like, these people didn't really matter what happened in Orlando. That was kind of kabuki theater to them.
Yeah.
Just an excuse to get their news feed in line.
No, Rob, I'm going to call you Rob the Hero, and I'll call him Other Rob. They're applauding Other Rob. All right. This division, isn't this kind of, I hate saying this is what the terrorists want, because it's such a cliche, but this is actually what they want. They want an America that can't unify.
This is exactly what they want. We're not talking about the root of the problem. It was in Orlando as a result of what's happening in Syria, because a guy that's obviously crazy first, you know, he went to them because the terrorists want, they're pushing out there, don't just kill people, be seen on TV killing people. And it's because of the radical form of Wahhabism or Sunni Islam. That's what it is. And then we come back here, I mean, we come back here and all of a sudden we're making it about everything. You know, it's a blame game on everything, and all of a sudden it's like you're getting more attention than I'm getting, because I have, it's like who's arguing in Chili's over who's got the louder fajitas.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But like the blame game thing, I saw so many things like, well, this is about, what about it's about toxic masculinity, right?
Yes.
It's like, yeah, I have no doubt that this dude was very sexist. He was a fan of ISIS.
Yes.
ISIS, kind of sexist, right? Kind of homophobic. These aren't separate motives. These are manifestations of the same motive. And they're sitting there like, yeah, well, like, he, you know, he would have called me by the wrong pronouns. He like shot 49 people to death.
Yes.
Why do we not just talk just about that?
Exactly.
I've had it.
You have had it.
I have.
We have an angry blonde over there, Nick. Be careful. All right, Nick, who do you blame for this divide? Because we have to blame somebody.
Well, you're saying it's what the terrorists want. It's what the Democratic Party wants. That's divided into a million pieces. That's what they want. I watch this like porn. It gets me excited to see liberals attacking and eating each other. It's better than porn for me. I'm 54.
Do you do it on mute, or?
Do I do what?
Do you watch on mute, or?
Which one? No, I have to have the audio.
The audio.
I want to hear the slapping and the crying.
But speaking of media, shifting gears, it's all identity politics. Like, we're all drunk on identity politics, and even the most sobering of tragedies can't keep people from putting down the bottle. It's like that's all people, it's a reflex almost at this point, and people aren't taking the time to really honor the victims. It's so self-indulgent. It gets a little disgusting when you see videos like that.
It's also I have no speech figure to applaud, I guess. But it's also weird because the actual story is so bananas. I mean, this guy is such a bundle of, this Omar Mateen guy, such a bundle of crazy that it actually, you know, there's plenty for us all to feast on. I mean, he is a villain for not only the people in Orlando, but he's a villain for that woman in Mizzou. You can talk about anything you want. With this guy. He's an all-purpose villain, and people still would prefer to like turn to the other guy.
Like
it's weird.
But that's what ISIS is. ISIS is, yeah, they're sexist. Yeah, they're ISIS.
Well, yeah, and they hate all of us. So can't we like all unify?
Well, they're even trying to make it, is this a hate crime? Is this a guns crime? Is this a terrorism crime? Well, it's kind of all of them.
Yeah. You know what's amazing, too? There are people that were actually bringing up the fact that, like, well, you know, Christians aren't that great either. They do that weird deflection.
Right.
I'm so sick of that. They did like the abortion clinic terrorists, you know, that in 2015 alone. I saw this today somewhere. More people were killed in 2015 alone by taking selfies than at an abortion clinic violence ever. Nice little stat there.
That's a great stat. That's why I don't take selfies. I stay away from it. No, you know what this is? We've lost the ability to call someone nuts. Right. Like if after Pearl Harbor, somebody started talking about white privilege or the offensiveness of zoot suits, we would laugh them off the planet. But now every opinion is respected.
But you're saying we. Isn't it really the left?
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes.
But seriously, I don't.
Yeah.
I thought of those people as Americans in Orlando. That was the first thing, was attack on home soil.
Exactly.
What's it matter? Seriously, if I'm the liberal on the panel, it's getting scary.
Good Lord. But this is effect. I mean, I'll be honest, right? When I was looking at my phone and I was overseas, so the time was crazy, and I saw this flash that this thing was happening in Orlando, and then everything stops in my brain. Like, I just need to know the name of the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I need to know the name of the guy. And that's wrong. Like, the guy is evil no matter what.
Right.
But I need to know the name first because I need to know how this is all going to shake out.
Exactly.
Because if it's,
wrong?
If it's Harold Montesquieu III, then it's like guys like me are going to be in trouble,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. We're coming after you.
When I saw Omar Mateen, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I think Mateen.
Nothing wrong with that. It's good instincts.
All right.
All right.